Welcome. Let's start in our upright seated position. So imagine there's a wall behind you. You want to get your entire spine against this imaginary wall, along with the back of your neck or back of your head. So nice straight spine, shoulders relaxed down. You don't have to pull the shoulders too far back. Close your eyes. Simply observe your breath. And then slowly but surely, just slow it down. Lengthen your inhales. Extend your exhales. Pay attention to what's happening in your body. Any movement as you inhale. And what happens when you exhale. Even though we can get quite a good workout on the yoga mat, overall it's still calming. You want to leave a class feeling more calm. And that's done through the breath. You can perhaps deepen your breath more, and if you make use of Ujjayi Pranayama, you can now start with that ocean-like sound in the back of your throat. Maintain this breathing pattern throughout your practice and slowly open your eyes. So we will start with a bit of an inverted posture. So take your legs overhead as you lie back, and then we'll take it up into shoulder balance. Don't turn your head when you go back, and also make sure you don't have weight on the neck, but rather weight on the shoulders and the triceps. So taking it all the way down, the legs over, place your hands onto your back. So if you struggle to get the feet to touch the floor, because it's your very first posture, you can sort of let the legs be more or less parallel with the floor. And just stay in this upside down position, whether it's halasana, meaning toes touching, or that slight modified variation. Doesn't matter, just stay in that position. And use an in-breath. Raise both legs up to ceiling into your shoulder balance. So you are upside down. If it's quite challenging, then you'll lower the legs a little bit to the back wall. Keep your breath consistent. It's a nice way to generate body heat, this combination between breath of fire and a shoulder balance. Focal point is up towards the toes, legs together. You'll firstly lower your legs back over your head and then place your arms onto the mat. Slowly curl your spine onto the mat, but don't bring your legs down. So keep the legs up at 90. And as you keep your legs up, flex your feet, reach with your hands. See if you can Reach more or less in line with the toes as you lift your shoulder blades off the mat. If the hamstrings are tight, then you'll have a slight bend in the knees, which is also fine. Slowly bring your shoulder blades down, arms down. Keep your legs up and simply start to flex and point with the feet. So just point and flex. You don't have to link breath and movement. Just getting the lower legs to work a little bit. You at least keep your legs as straight as you can. There's no weight on the feet, so it's perfectly fine to lock them out. Keep going. And now point and hold. Separate your legs, take them out to the sides, and slowly start to curl up, reaching with your fingers forward. So you can even interlace your fingers and pistol grip, getting shoulder blades off the mat. Keep pointing, extend through your big toes, and hold. And I'll take the legs back up, reach up to ceiling one more time, and then bend your knees. Grab hold behind the backs of the knees. Rock up into a seated position. Cross your legs. Let's take it all the way into a downward facing dog. So into that upside down shape. As you hold your down dog, feel into the legs. There's no need to even walk the down dog, but just actively work your heels down towards the mat. Bending knees, look up. Inhale, feet between hands. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend knees, take arms up. Exhale, mountain pose. Once again, position the feet shoulder distance. Find your big toes. So you just take it into a forward bend. As you pistol grip, use an inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, slightly deeper forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant hands onto the mat. You can perhaps just walk the feet a little bit closer together to jump back. And lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale to down dog. In breath, right leg up. Exhale, right foot between hands with control. Find your balance. You come up onto the right foot, hands to prayer behind your back. So you want to kind of do it all in the same go. Start to bend into the grounding leg. Step your left foot back, angle the left foot and come up. Keep your hips square. Take an in-breath. Exhale, forward bend. Keep shoulders away from ears. Sort of working your nose closer to your toes. Right hip pulling back. Arch in your back. Inhale, slowly come back up. Release hands onto the mat as you bend the front knee. Step it back into plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, foot in between hands. Find your balance, hands to prayer, come up. Balancing on the left foot. Flex or point with the back foot, just as long as there's activation. You'll bend into the grounding leg. Step your right foot back, come up, front leg straight. Square off in the hips or keep the hips square. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, and make your way back up. Releasing hands to mat as you bend into the front knee. Step it back into plank. Shift weight onto left hand, angle feet. Take right arm up, side plank. But then start to pull the right arm to the back wall, opening up more. So we're not turning the hips, we're just opening in the chest. Exhale, bring the right hand down. Shift weight over to the opposite side. Left arm up, Vashisthasana. Then arm further back. Exhale, hand down. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog or chaturanga. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, take right leg to ceiling. Exhale, step foot in between hands. Angle your back foot. Come up into a warrior two, sinking low into the front knee, keeping your arms nice and straight. Focal point over your front middle finger. Shoulders relaxed away from ears. Start to reach to the front of the room or studio, keeping your legs exactly the way they are, and hold. See if you can reach a little bit further. First, with an inhale, come back to center. Then exhale, windmill your hands down, step back. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. In-breath, left leg up. Exhale, place foot in between hands. Angle your back foot. Warrior two. So same thing. You've got a nice straight line. Even though the body's active, there's a bit of softening happening in the pose. Almost like you can bend your arms and straighten lightly just to feel that it's not too tense. And start to reach forwards and hold. See if you can take it a little bit deeper. Inhale back to center. Exhale, hands down. Step it back into plank. Lower down chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, raise your right leg. Open the hip and bend the knee. Pull the knee up to ceiling. Slight softness in the grounding leg. Step your foot to the outside of the mat. Flip your down dog. Lift your hips. Slowly start to twist and turn. Take your right leg back up. Exhale, squeeze knee into chest. Hold it here. Take your leg back up to ceiling. Exhale, knee to chest, but this time round, place your foot in between hands. Place back knee down. Straighten your front leg. Maybe you can keep the hands where they are. Maybe you're going to have to slide them back a bit. See what works for you. Flex your front foot and hold. Bring it back to center. Tuck toes, lock your back legs, step it back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale to down dog. Inhale, raise your left leg. Open at the hip, bend your knee. Pull your knee up. Slight softness in the grounding leg. Step your foot over. Twist, turn. Lift hips and breathe. Twist and turn back. Take your left leg to ceiling. Exhale, knee into your chest. Hold it here. Keep the breath deep. Even though the body's warm, you don't want to lose control. Take your leg back up. And exhale. Place foot in between hands. Back knee down. Straighten your front leg. You're keeping your chest as close to your knee as you can. So even if the body's nice and warm and you feel that you're getting a workout, keep the breath consistent. Bend into your knee. Tuck toes, lock back legs, step back. Plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Bending into knees. Look up. Step or jump feet between hands. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, take arms to ceiling. Exhale, mountain pose. You'll get hands to pray. And with hands to pray, the idea is to do a bit of a back bend, keeping legs straight at first, then we'll start playing with a bit of a bend in the knees. So hands to pray, inhalation, take it back, exhale back up. Now we hold it for 2 breaths. Inhale, take it back. Exhale, come back up. We now hold for 3 breaths. Inhale, take it back. Exhale, bring it back up. The last one we hold for 5 counts or 5 breaths. And once you get into your deeper back bend, get a bit of softness in your knees. So you don't have to bend all too much, but get softness in the knee joints. It's going to allow you to go just a little bit deeper. So nice inhalation to take it back and hold. Exhale back up. Take it into a forward bend, nice and calm, nothing too intense. You can even move from side to side. Grab hold of the elbows if that feels nice. Inhale slowly. Make your way back up. Interlace your fingers, so pistol grip. Take your arms up. As you lengthen, pull your shoulders closer to your ears and then start to look up towards the hands. Next inhalation, reach with the index fingers slightly back. Exhale, forward bend, head to shins. So the idea is perhaps not to go as deep as you can, but to just get a very decent and lengthened spinal extension. Inhale for halfway lift. Plant your hands on exhale, step or jump back. Lower down through your vinyasa. Inhale, up dog. Exhale to down dog. So one little arm balancing posture. Two options. You can jump into your crow, or you can step feet behind hands and then aim to get a little bit of a lift. So decide what works best for you. If you jump, bend knees, look up, make your way into that crow pose. You can even pull your knees up, straighten the arms a bit more. See what works for you. Holding the position. And the same way we came into the posture, so if you jumped into the pose, then you can jump it out or jump out of the pose back into a chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Bend your knees, look up, and this time around, step or jump into a seated position. And then as you come down, grab hold behind the backs of the knees. Lift your knees, lift your feet, pull chest closer to knees as your starting point. Option of taking the arms out in front. Option of straightening your legs. Keep your chest up. Place your feet onto the mat. Wrap arms around the knees and relax your forehead down. Slowly make your way up. Move slightly back, straighten your legs. Place your hands in between the kneecaps and the hips, then point with your feet. Push away from the floor. Lift your bum. Hold this position. Exhale and bring it back down. Keep pointing with the feet. Reach with your hands towards the tops of the feet and bring your body into this forward bend shape. Inhale. Straighten your arms, lift your chest, exhale, release. Keep your left leg straight. Bend the right knee. Foot just to the outside of the glute. And roll your calf out of the way. So traditionally speaking, we've got the knees touching. But if it's intense on the knee, then leave a gap in between the knees, so a fist would do. As we turn this into a forward bend, if you feel that you might fall over to the side, then support with one hand as you make your way down. Otherwise, just take it into the forward bend and hold it there. It's quite an intense name for this pose. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Straighten the right leg. Shake it out if the knees may be a bit tender, and then switch sides. Same thing, you roll the calf out of the way. Leave space between the knees if you feel discomfort in the knees. Otherwise, knees can touch. Exhale, forwards. And making your way into the posture. Inhale, straighten arms. Exhale, release. Straighten the bent leg. I'm going to take it back to do a bridge and perhaps even a bit of a wheel pose. Let's see what you can do. You've got a few different options here. So lie back onto the mat. First we'll do a bridge together. So step feet onto the mat and start to lift your hips. And as you lift the hips, interlace your fingers, pushing the arms into the floor. Keep breathing there. Feet square, hips up. Exhale, separating the hands, lower your hips. If you want to go for the next phase, you can place hands in line with your head, fingers pointing towards the feet. But before you consider to lift up, we'll first lift almost like into a bridge. So you take your hips up and you tuck your elbows so the elbows point up to ceiling and not out to the sides. And if you find that you don't have the strength to lift from here, to lift up, then you stay in this position. Or the next phase would be to just place the crown of the head onto the mat. This is where you can reposition the hands even. So find a position that works for you. If this is too much, then stay on the mat. And you just hold your bridge pose. Should you wish to take it up into a wheel pose, simply straighten your arms. So crown of head down, and then straighten your arms into your back bend. Keep the breath nice and deep. You'll slowly bend your arms, place the back of the head down, and then hug knees into chest. So you don't want to overdo it. Bridge pose is also a nice way of getting into the back. If we do wheel, we just get into the upper body a bit more. You can hug knees into your chest, maybe even gently turn from side to side. Grab hold behind the backs of the knees and rock up into a seated position. So as you get to seated, part your legs at Upavista Konasana shape. Reach for the outsides of the feet. Take a nice deep inhale, lengthen in the chest, and exhale, come down. If you find that your body's quite stiff in this shape, obviously you don't even grab hold of the feet. and you can stay in this upright position. The idea is not necessarily, if you have the flexibility, to simply relax down. That is not going to be beneficial. You want to keep some form of activation, maintain length in your back, and hold. Use your inhale to slowly come back up, and then place soles of the feet together. Very laid back position, heels far away from the body, and just moving the knees up and down. Just a little spinal twist, seated spinal twist, and then spinal twisting on our backs to follow. So you'll take the left knee, get the left knee to point forwards, step the right foot over, wrap your left arm around the right knee, opposite hand behind the back. Nice deep inhale to lengthen, exhale twist looking over the back shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. Place your right arm to the inside of the right knee and do a bit of an open twist. So this is not too intense. Just opening up in the opposite direction, a bit of a counter stretch really. And come back to center. Right leg at the bottom, step left foot over. So we don't get the foot too deep in. You just kind of place it more or less in line with the knee. Wrap the right arm around the left leg. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale, come back to center, to the open twist. Left arm to the inside of the left knee, and twisting to the right. And bring it back to center. Straighten your legs. Slowly lie down onto the mat. Just before we start or do our corpse pose, scan your body. Make sure you're not holding any tension in the lower legs, so you can move your feet a little bit and then go soft. So feeling that there's no tension in the knees, the lower legs. As for the pelvis, squeeze your glutes and push your lower back into the mat. And then go soft, relax. Feel how there's a bit of a release in the back. Taking awareness to the shoulders, pull your hands further away from the ears. So shoulders pulling away. And then find that there's softness in the shoulders. As for the neck, slightly lift your head, tuck your chin, place the back of the head onto the mat, and go soft. Now maintaining this position, keep your eyes closed, and for the first time in the practice, allow your breath to be natural. Feel free to stay in this pose for as long as you want.